country and we the people on UST Party Radio.
Welcome to UST Party Radio, God, Country, and We the People, with Bill Gruber and Kaz Taylor.
And, you know, it's always fun to get political perspectives from inside Congress, and we have a recovering politician on with us right now, Bob Beauprez. Bob, how are you today?
I'm good. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You do feel like you're recovering, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I got to tell you. So, congratulations to you. Anyway, how's the Tea Party going to impact the vote this November in your estimation?
Oh, huge! We've already witnessed historic impact. I think this is the healthiest movement that I guess I've ever seen in my life, and I'm 62 and kind of been a political junkie all my life. I was in various businesses, family farming and banking and some real estate stuff, and now I'm back to ranching again, raising buffalo. But along the way, I've always been politically active, and as you noted, I served a little while in Congress too. So I've kept my eye on politics. I don't think I've ever seen a movement, an awakening of the people that's as healthy, as organic, as real as what we're witnessing right now. And I think it's a pretty serious indictment on at least the ability of both parties, the effectiveness of both parties to communicate their message. Because I think they're, at least inside the belly of the beast, I thought there was a significant difference in the two, but it's pretty straightforward as well, pretty obvious that Republicans for a period of time lost their way. They were part of growing government, part of increasing deficits, and they drifted from the white line. The white line being that those principles that had long guided not only the Republican Party, but I make the case in my book that there were principles that really were the foundation of this country and guided it for 200 years of absolutely unprecedented greatness.
Take us back to when you became a budding new congressman and your first days in Congress. What I'm trying to get at here is, you know, as a new congressman, you're coming from a variety of different arenas. Many are not even coming from formal politics, and so you go into the machine in Washington D.C. and it feels like you're pressured to kind of go along with the flow of things. What makes you think that this new crop of incoming Congress people is going to be any different? Because the machine is already in place and you don't know some things, so you may end up deferring where you really should be making a little noise.
Well, there's several things that go into play. As a freshman, even a sophomore, your third, fourth term even, oftentimes you're not in a position of leadership to really set the agenda. You know, you can go back there and sponsor. You can introduce legislation till the cows come home. But unless you're a chairman, and frankly, unless you're the majority leader or the Speaker of the House, those are the people that control what bills even get a hearing. And you're not going to get a vote on anything, obviously, if you don't get a hearing.
So what is this going to be any different this time around, or how might it be and why?
It can be different if there is a coalition of members who will stand up to leadership. My freshman class did in fairly small pieces on a couple of occasions, and from that I learned that depending on the size of a majority, sometimes it can be 2 or 3 people, but sometimes it might take 20 or 30. But if they are willing to go to leadership and say, you know, we can't support you on this, whatever this is, if it's a spending bill, even if it's a reduced spending. So let's take an obvious. Suppose they want to repeal Obamacare, but they do it halfway. If members go to leadership and say, we can't support you in this, we'll take down the rule vote, we'll block the procedure unless you go for the whole loaf. A handful of members in the majority party can literally control things. Think about Joe Lieberman when he was that one deciding vote in a 51-49 Senate. most powerful man in Washington. A handful of members could do that, but it's going to take an enormous amount of backbone. And a lot of these people got there in part because the leadership, the various chairmen, the senior members contributed to their campaigns. That's the political capital that some of those folks are going to be trying to call in when they get back to D.C. I left Congress in 2006, so the Tea Party really wasn't, I left in January of 2007.
Right.
The mood that is clearly there now, and I was just in Washington again week before last. I stay in touch with members. I think the consensus of opinion on both sides of the aisle, maybe most especially the Democrat side, was that this was a non-event. This was just another one of those little uprisings that would come and go, and it could be ignored and in some cases actually disdained, and it wouldn't make any difference. What they missed was that this wasn't just another citizen uprising. It wasn't based on just a issue, and it wasn't going to go away. These are people that aren't just a little bit parochial, aren't just concerned about their own well-being on an issue or one issue or another. These are people that have gone from being a little worried to being afraid for the future of the greatest country ever in the history of the world. I think this is a taking back control of government by the people. We have, whether it's accidental, whether it was on purpose, it really doesn't matter, but what's happened over the last couple of generations is this progression to an elite, a belief among politicians, as you heard John Kerry just the other day basically say that the people aren't smart enough to really know what's going on. They need us enlightened ones back in Washington. That's just pure nonsense.
We've got about 30 seconds left, and you've got about 20 seconds to tell us quickly about the HancockCommittee.org.
Well, what we're doing, it's a grassroots training and development, but a free consulting, really, to just try to give this new generation of activists the tools to not just be angry and upset, but to be successful in their mission of taking back their government.
HancockCommittee.org. Bob Beauprez, we appreciate you being with us today, and I finally met a person who does have a home where the buffalo roam.
Yes, you did.
Thank you,
That's
Bob.
simply,
Take care, my friend.
Simply amazing. Anyway, this segment is brought to you by... I crack myself up.
You are just too funny. It's brought to you
funny.
by BizBitCommunications.com, leading producer of internet and other videos for businesses like yours. You know, there are a lot of Tea Parties out there. How do they play together? We're going to find out on U.S. Tea Party Radio, broadcasting from WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.